What's up, guys? It's your girl Sherelle Unique here, and I'm here to do a review of the movie Is God Is. Now, this is going to be a non spoiler review to start, and then towards the end, I'll get into the spoiler stuff. I will let you know when, so that if you don't want the movie to be spoiled, you can cut this off. Okay. So, I gotta address the elephant in the room. It is hair wash day. I got this little piece from TikTok shop. So you'll see my review on that as well. And if you're liking what you see, then pick it up. I would describe this movie as being one of the craziest movies I've watched. And if it's not the craziest movie I've watched, it goes on the list of one of the craziest movies I've watched. So, this movie was written and directed by Alicia Harris. Apparently, it was or is an off Broadway play that came out in 2018. So, it's described as a Southern Gothic revenge story. I would throw in comedic story in there as well. It's also described as a thriller. This movie gets pretty dark. It gets pretty dark. I will say that. They cover some very heavy topics. There is a lot of gore. There is some heavy violence. A lot of traumatic topics that are touched on. Yeah. So just know that before you go in. This movie is definitely a conversation piece. You're going to go in and you're going to have a lot to talk about with whoever you go with. And I suggest you go with somebody because it's a good time. I mean, it's going to be a good time alone, but it's so much that's happening, so much going on. You're going to need somebody to kind of just converse with after it's over. So pick a good friend, partner, whatever, to go and check this movie out because it's definitely a conversation starter. It was a very unique story, and I really appreciated that. We have a lot of repeat stories these days, a lot of repeat themes and whatnot. So I'm liking that they're putting out movies that are fresh and new, especially with a black cast. I love that. We need new stories, new things to talk about, new perspectives on storytelling, and I am here for it. Listen, the acting was phenomenal. They really showed up and showed out in this movie. They really did their thing. It was believable. It was intense. It was exciting. They really pulled you in. Even with the villain, was so believable. Like it was, yeah, the acting was on point. Some of the actors in the movie, I won't name them all, of course, but Vivica Fox was in the movie. Shout out to the main characters, which were, I want to say Kara Young and Mallory Johnson. Sterling K. Brown was phenomenal. My favorite, one of my favorite characters in the movie, Erica Alexander. She can do no wrong. Janelle Monáe was in the movie. So there were a lot of names in this movie. There are even more that I did not name. So go check it out. The soundtrack was enjoyable. Really liked it. You could really feel a strong sense of black culture in the movie through the attire and the slang and some of the dancing and whatnot. Also, a very strong sense of womanhood, especially black womanhood. And the movie was visually pleasing. Like overall, it was visually pleasing. They had to do a lot with the makeup. If you've seen like some of the pictures and whatnot, you know what I mean in regards to that. And I just appreciate, like I said, a unique, unpredictable story. Throughout the entire movie, we did not know what was going to happen next, for the most part. Some things you can pick out, but through that movie, you did not know how this was about to play out. And I loved that because it kept you on your toes. Okay, like what's about to go down? What did this person do? What's about to happen next? So, yeah, this movie is a wild ride. And if you check it out, I would like to know what you think. I don't recommend it for everybody. So if you are very overly religious, don't go check this movie out. If you don't like violence, if you don't like gore, if you don't like heavy drama, it is some comedic aspect of it, but it hits on some very heavy dark topics. If you don't like that kind of stuff, do not go check it out. It's a thriller, so if you're not into that, don't go check it out. But I enjoyed the movie Is God Is. And now I'm going to get into the spoiler section. And this spoiler part is not in any specific kind of order. It's kind of maybe probably all over the place, but that's okay. All right, we're into the spoiler section. All right, so the two main characters, they are twins, and they went through a very traumatic incident as a kid along with their mother. They reconnect with their mother later in life, and the mother told them, make your daddy dead. So that is the running theme of this movie. I like that they didn't show the monster, Sterling K. Brown's face right away. Like they kept it right here. You knew who you were looking at, but you built that suspense up into, the moment that we actually for real see his face, and he played the hell out of that role. You hear me? I'm not into movies that are heavy with like using like God in a blasphemous way. I thought this movie would have been great without that, without the title, without the way they went about that. That's just my own thing. I'm not into that. I do understand why they had to view Vivica, their mother, as God in order to have the push and momentum and the story to be big enough to even carry this out. But I don't like that. I'm not into all of that. With that being said, though, Erica Alexander killed it as that minister. She was hilarious. She was great. And I do like that they touched on the fact that they're oftentimes in the church, they are very patriarchal in the sense of forgiving abusive men, like the shrine she created and her wanting him to come back when he left her pregnant. I thought that was crazy work, but I'm glad they touched on that topic. So while I'm going on my random things about the movie, why we have to see so many women pee without wiping? I thought that was weird. That happened probably about 3 or 4 times in this movie. Why was they peeing and not wiping? You trying to get yeast infection. You trying to throw your pH balance off. Bacterial vaginosis. What you trying to do? I love that the weapon of choice was this big rock and a sock. That was hilarious. That was funny. And yeah, I like that. I liked the telepathic communication that the twins had with one another, how tight they were, how connected they were, but they were actually complete opposites too. I like any kind of story where the underdog wins. And I really love that this movie stayed on course. It wasn't all over the place. It had a main theme topic, and it stayed the course throughout the whole movie. It's my own little thing. How come them girls ain't put their hair in a bun? Ain't no black girls about to be on no chase, killing people, fighting, doing all this stuff and not putting their hair in a bun. Heavy spoiler with this one. I like that the villain died. I felt bad that the sister died, but she kind of had to die because she was going to keep killing, she was on a killing spree. I like that the villain died. I get tired of watching, I like action movies, action comedies. I get tired of watching movies where the villain don't die and he keep coming back. So, yeah, get him out of here.